What's up, y'all? It's insanely windy and pretty cold today. It's usually absolute butter in this cove, but it's extremely blown out right now, and pretty much it's impossible to get anything done wakeboard related or even pit bike related. So I figured today I'd do a Q&A video. If you guys want to be included in this next time, make sure you guys stay tuned on my Instagram and my YouTube, and you can ask me questions in whatever poll I put up, and I'll be able to feature your questions in the video. So the first question is, what's worse, catching a toe side edge or a heel side edge, so a front edge or a back edge? In my personal opinion, I think it is way worse to catch a back edge. I feel like you're way more likely to get completely knocked out when catching a back edge. I know a lot of you guys will disagree with me, so feel free to comment below in the comments what you think is worse, a front edge or a back edge. And if you want, tell me a story on what your worst crash is, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you, and I'll reply to your comments below. Next question, when are you gonna make more wake park videos? I've been hearing this question a ton lately, and basically the closest wake park that's open right now is Texas Ski Ranch, and it's a little bit over an hour away from me at the moment, so it takes quite some time to get there, and it's kind of a mission, but maybe I'll start going there a little bit more. If you guys want to shoot Texas Ski Ranch a message on Instagram, I'll link them right here, and just tell them you want to see me ride at their park. Maybe they'll hook me up with a pass or something, and I'll head out there and try and crank out a bunch of videos for you guys. Do you think you need an expensive wake boat to be good or progressive wakeboarding? In my personal opinion, you don't need the absolute best boat to be good or progress, but it does help a lot if you do have the best boat. But on a lower end boat, you can definitely learn all the basic flips, all the basic spins, and really dial in your basics. And then later on, you can try and find some friends or something with a better boat than you may personally have, and you can try to progress from there. Fat sacks and getting a torquier propeller are also great options to make your lower end boat a better boat. If your family is financially capable though, why not get the best boat? I mean, you just flip a couple switches and then you instantly have a mega wake. When are you coming to Waco to ride? I actually want to get down there pretty soon. I want to come ride with Parker down there and maybe some of the Baylor Wake team, and yeah, we could have some fun and film some stuff. Can you do a backside flip on a skateboard? No, I personally can't do a backside flip on a skateboard, but I think if you gave me around an hour of trying, I think I could probably land one or two. I more kind of prefer transition skating on like smaller transitions. I feel it's like safer, and I don't really like breaking myself off, so yeah, I kind of just prefer that. What do you do when it gets cold besides riding in a wetsuit? Lately, we've just been kind of riding a bunch of pit bikes, and that's been super fun. Some of the days have been pretty cold, so I'll do pretty much nothing, probably watch a bunch of Netflix or just kind of chill and do pretty much absolutely nothing. But yeah, sometimes we'll skate, pit bikes, and that's about it. What's your favorite cable park? Right now in Texas, the Levee is my favorite wake park. My favorite public wake park would be, I guess, Texas Ski Ranch. Right now it's the only one open, so props to them for staying open all winter. And in the world, still it's CWC, so yeah, those are my top ones right now. Would you ever invite a fan to come ride with you? Yeah, 100% absolutely would do this. If you live in Texas already, just shoot me a message. Feel free to come ride or meet me at a cable somewhere. And if you're far away, maybe we could do some sort of giveaway eventually, and we could try and get someone flown into Austin for a couple days, and we'll go on the boat or go to a cable or something. Maybe we could get something done like that. But yeah, if you want to come ride with me, shoot me a message and we can try and get it done. When are you coming to Australia? This is probably the most commonly asked question, and right now I'm pretty sure it's pretty much impossible for me to go there. I feel like y'all have the most strict COVID restrictions, so yeah, I can't really go there at the moment, but as soon as your country opens up and it's easier for Americans to get there, I am definitely going back because I absolutely loved it last time I was there. Where are you from? I mean, I'm from right here. I was born and raised in Austin, Texas. I mean, I guess you could say more like Lake Travis, Texas is kind of like a suburb of Austin, but yeah, I've been here pretty much my whole life. Sometimes I'll move away for like 6 or 8 months, but I always end up back here. It's pretty much my favorite place in the world. What's your favorite lake in Florida? My favorite two lakes, actually. I like Lake Sawyer, where Dano lives. I've had a ton of fun on that lake with him, barefooting or trick skiing or wakeboarding on his little tiny wake on his ski boat. And then also Lake Holden would probably be my favorite for wakeboarding so far. It's been the most butter out of any of the other lakes, and I ride there a bit with Taylor McCullough or Dallas, and yeah, those are probably my favorite two lakes in Florida. What's the first trick you learned on a wakeboard? So basically the first trick besides like 180s and like jumps and grabs and stuff, that I learned was a tantrum. How do you get sponsored? This is a pretty tough question to answer because there are different levels of sponsorship, but basically from getting free product to getting paid or even getting a discount on product, what you would need to do is show that you are a positive return of investment. You don't necessarily need to be the absolute best wakeboarder, because I know I'm not the best wakeboarder in the world, although I can wakeboard pretty good. You just need to show that you can sell product. So show that their product is good, or make a video that shows their product is good, or just put their stuff on the map so they feel like you're a good investment for them to keep flowing you gear, or maybe paying you someday, or maybe even just giving you a discount. But yeah, you basically just need to show that you're a positive return of investment, and then that's pretty much how you would get sponsored. What's the biggest difference in riding a board that's, say, a 150 over a 140? So like riding a mega board versus a normal size board, I would say that it does land softer, but I did do a test on this a while back and I felt that they landed equivalently just as soft. Basically though, the bigger one may land a little bit more stable since there is more surface area, and also on the rails, the bigger board can have a little bit more surface area, so it's a little bit easier to stay on the rails. But there are cons of riding a mega board. It is a lot harder to lug it around, whereas the small boards cons are it's a little bit harder to stay on the rails. So you kind of like pick your poison. I like to ride about halfway between the two, and yeah, that seems to work out great for me. But yeah, figure it out, try a bunch of different sizes and see what you like, and yeah, that's pretty much it. How did you know wakeboarding was for you, and when did you realize you were good at it? I don't know if I ever really realized that I was super good at it or anything like that, but I did used to play like school sports or club sports, and I was pretty good at normal sports as I was growing up, but I did hit puberty really late, so all of a sudden everyone just mega surpassed me in like football, soccer, basketball. It was pretty hard for me to keep up, and I had just started wakeboarding at that point. I was like, well, screw these normal sports because I'm smaller than everyone else. So I just kind of started wakeboarding, and it was way more fun, and it seemed a lot more fun than going and like training and running and working hard on fitness and stuff like that. Just going out on the boat and exercising and goofing off, trying flips, just trying to go big in the air, that seemed like it was for me. So yeah, that's kind of how it worked out. When are you coming to Germany? I think Hyperlight is sending Graham and I over again this summer, so that should be super sick. I think we're gonna go on a big tour again throughout the country to all the different cable parks, so that will be really fun. So y'all will probably see me then. Look at this handsome guy. Hey, bud. Also, if you guys do want to support the channel, I do have my own merch now. I have a white and a black You Won't shirt available. I had 50 made, so there aren't many left. They are limited, so if you guys do want to support the channel, feel free to go grab one. If you guys can't afford it, just make sure you guys give me a like or a comment below. That always helps as well, and thank you guys for always sticking around. What is the best wakeboard we can use? This is going to sound like an ad because this is my favorite wakeboard, because I did have hand in designing it, the Hyperlight Free Press. It is my own personal pro model wakeboard. That is my absolute favorite board, so if you guys do want to get your hands on that, feel free. The board I do ride on the boat though is the Murray, and I do find that as one of the best boats on the board. But basically, any board that's the best for you to use is the one that you like the most. So make sure you go out and test a lot of different boards before you buy one and figure out what you like best. And there's not a specific board that is best for everyone in the entire wakeboard industry. So go try a bunch, see what you like, and get that one. Clockwise or anti-clockwise cables? Me personally, I like clockwise ones just because I am regular and air tricks are a little bit easier for me on those ones. But for kickers, basically, if I'm on a clockwise one, I'll hit the left kicker and do all my left kicker tricks, and if I'm on the anti-clockwise ones, I'll hit the right kicker and do all my right kicker tricks, because I really hate swimming, so I really try and avoid hitting the kicker on the inside. But yeah, I guess I'd have to say clockwise ones would be my favorite, just by a little bit. What size board do you ride at the cable? I ride a 148 Hyperlight Free Press. What's your favorite trick? For me, on the cable, my favorite trick would be the wheelie. I just can't ever seem to get tired of doing that. It never gets old, and it's super fun. And on the boat, even though I hardly ever do this trick, it would definitely, I think right now it's kind of the S-bend. I kind of want to get back into the whole S-bend thing, because not really many people do them. So yeah, I kind of want to get back into that, and I think S-bend feels really fun whenever I do it. Thoughts on Graham and Alex's Hyperlight boards? These are both great option wakeboards to choose from. Alex's board is kind of like exactly the same as a wishbone, except narrower, so it allows you to kind of ride a bigger size. And Graham's Blacklist board is pretty awesome because it's a little bit flatter, so you get a lot longer ride times on it. And Graham's wishbone wakeboard, it has a ton of rocker, so it makes it a lot easier to press on. So yeah, those are just kind of the things I think about them, and I think they're great options. So if you're into it, go check them out. Also, if you guys are gonna buy a brand new wakeboard, try and make sure you guys buy a pro model wakeboard and try and support the rider that does put in a lot of work, because every sale, a portion of that sale does go to that rider. So make sure you're supporting those riders and trying to keep them on the water for as long as possible. What music genre do you hate? I don't really have a genre that I absolutely hate, but I'd say that my least favorite one would probably be some like gangster rap or something like that. I'm not super into that. When do you get your new boat? I mean, I hope soon. I just re-signed with Centurion boats yesterday, and I did hear that the boat is complete. So basically I'm waiting on them to ship it from California here to Austin, Texas, and then we will have the brand new boat ready to go. How did you start wakeboarding? Well, when I was a kid, my dad does live up this street here, and we had a super old crappy Sea Ray, nothing great for wakeboarding or anything like that, but he used to put the boat in right here, and we didn't wakeboard for the longest time. I did a lot of kneeboarding and just goofing around out there on the lake, and eventually we saw someone else out there wakeboarding, and the boat happened to come with this sandal strapped wakeboard, and I actually ended up trying it out there, and I absolutely hated it the first time. Got up on it, and it just wasn't for me. It wasn't until later, maybe like 6 months later or the next year or something like that, my friend had a Hyperlight motive with some sort of bindings on there, and I tried it out with some more legit bindings, and I absolutely loved it. Got some air, and I was kind of hooked from there, and yeah, thought it was awesome and kept doing it. Who's your favorite rider? Currently, my favorite rider is Sean Murray, just because he's been doing it for so long, and he pumps the sport out to so many new people. He has a great attitude, great personality, and yeah, that's why I ride his boat board behind the boat, aside from that the board's actually insanely good. But yeah, he's kind of my favorite rider right now, and I just love his attitude, and yeah, I just love how he brings so many new people to the sport and just kind of has a good time and goes absolutely massive behind the boat. So yeah, he's my favorite at the moment. Why do you pick system bindings? This is gonna sound like an ad again, but yeah, I basically choose them because it's the absolute easiest to walk back to the dock at the cable. There is no easier way, so that's basically why I ride them. Who is the wakeboarder that influenced you the most? The wakeboarder that influenced me the most isn't really like a big pro name rider or anything like that. It's basically like all the local pros here in Austin that I grew up around, like Billy Garcia or Mitch Bergsma or even JP Rayleigh, guys like that that were just sending it when I was a kid, because I didn't have Wakeboarding Magazine or any connection to the wakeboard world, and these guys were kind of like my heroes when I was a kid. So yeah, those are kind of who inspired me. Which of your signature boards has been your favorite? The 2022 Hyperlight Free Press is my favorite so far. I didn't have any say at all really with the 2021 graphic, but for the 2022 I got to have Airbud, he's over there, him put on the graphic, and I absolutely love that. So yeah, I think it's epic. I did just start working on the 2023 graphic, which is looking pretty epic so far, so it's going to be tough competition when that comes out in a year from now. But yeah, 2022 is my favorite so far. Do you prefer boat or cable? I definitely consider myself more of a cable rider, and I probably prefer kind of riding cable just because you get like more freedom on the water and more options like rails, air tricks, kickers, and things like that. But the vibe, I probably prefer the vibe on the boat. You can just go out on the boat with your friends, and you know, you each have your own little spotlight time out there on the water, and yeah, they're both great, but I think I slightly prefer cable over the boat, even though both are awesome. When should I buy my own gear? When should you buy your own gear is what's up, guy, is pretty much I don't know, whenever you can afford it or whenever you want it, because whenever you have your own stuff that fits you best rather than like using rentals or other people's stuff, it really helps you progress the most because you'll be the most comfortable on your own stuff. Do you think learning new tricks is always about mindset? a huge portion of learning new tricks is definitely about mindset, just getting the balls and actually trying the new trick. But a lot of times you definitely need to step back and go back to the basics and kind of learn each fundamental part of that trick before trying it, because sometimes you'll just get completely lost in the air and have no idea what's going on. So a huge part is balls, and a huge part is just knowing all the fundamentals leading up to that trick. So it's not all about mindset, but it's definitely a huge portion of it. Is kneeboarding the future of water sports? Definitely not, but John Hale is the king. What's your favorite wake park in Australia? I think my favorite wake park there was Bayside Wake Park. The people there were epic. The rails were homemade, and it was just all around a good time. I absolutely loved it there. Are crashes worse on the cable or the boat? Personally, for me, they have been worse on the boat. I've definitely had a lot more knockouts. I've never been knocked out on the cable at all, but hanging back edges on the boat will make you go completely black on occasion. But yeah, I mean, the cable has a lot more potential to get hurt. You could break bones on rails and things like that. So yeah, I think the cable could be worse, but personally for me, I have had worse crashes on the boat. How can brands support the riders better and vice versa? All right, this is a mega tough question. I'm gonna try to not piss anyone off. But there are some old ass riders that have been doing absolutely nothing for years and are still getting paid. And I think these guys need to absolutely 100% be kicked off, and this budget needs to be opened up to help new up and coming riders come up to the top and promote these guys. Also, there's some guys that made it big early and they've just been coasting, getting paid. I think these guys need to be kicked off too. So if you are that guy and you're doing absolutely nothing, you should leave and go get a real job or do something else, because there does need to be a way that new riders can come up and get into these brands and be supported. I think whenever you stop contributing, it's time to go. I think for some of these up and coming riders that haven't really made their mark yet, I think some video incentive ideas or maybe podium incentive ideas, and I don't need video incentive like Julian Cohen or Austin Hare went out and bought a bunch of fake views or fake followers and stuff like that. Incentives, we need to have team managers and stuff paying attention, because we can't really have this happening. That will destroy our industry. But some legit incentives to get these kids really pumping stuff out, to get their names out there, and then once they have made their mark and became a big enough name rider, then maybe they can start working their way into a small salary or something like that and building their way up with those brands. This is a tough question to answer though, so I can't really have the perfect answer, but what I do know is that we do need to make sure we open doors for the up and coming riders, because they are the future of our sport. And also, all the riders need to make sure you're not being lazy. Get out there and do shit and try and make wakeboarding big and get it out to as many people as possible. Are you coming to Orlando this winter? Probably not. I'm not gonna say no, because maybe, but yeah, I don't really know. What happened to Rocker? I don't know, he doesn't wakeboard that much anymore. I know he does sometimes and he still rips, but yeah, he's super into the rodeo thing, and I think he just did his first pro rodeo. I think he's absolutely killing it right now, so that's super cool for him, and yeah, that's kind of what he's doing, I think. Trump or Biden? I mean, I'm not super into politics or anything, because I mean, it doesn't really affect me much, but I am from Texas, so I don't know, I guess you guys could figure that one out. Tits or ass? I mean, I'm probably gonna go with the ass. What rope length do you ride behind the boat, and do you change it for different tricks or speeds? Generally, I ride 75-foot long rope, and I don't really change the length for different tricks, but sometimes on different boats, or if you know, there's not very much weight in the boat, I will shorten the rope and go a lot slower if the wake isn't really big. That's a nice way to make the wake bigger, but I really enjoy 75 feet, and if I have a nice wake, I'll pretty much always ride 75. I feel like that one is pretty perfect for me. And the speed I ride on my boat is 22.8 at 75 feet, so that's kind of what I like. Can you wakeboard behind any boat, and what would the requirements be for an entry boat to start wakeboarding? I think you could wakeboard behind pretty much any boat. You could wakeboard behind a jet ski or even behind a John boat, as long as you have enough horsepower to get you up on the water. You could probably even wakeboard behind one of these sailboats, as long as it's windy enough and you have enough wind power to get you up and on top of the water. And once you're up, you can start learning basic board control, ollies, ollie 180s, ollie 360s. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be easier behind, you know, the top of the line wakeboard boat with the best wake, but you can wakeboard behind anything that has enough horsepower to get you up and on top of the water. What is possible after 1 year of consistent wakeboarding, and how much progression can be made as a beginner? The answer to this can really vary a lot. I mean, I've seen some people, in very, very rare cases, but some people that maybe have skated before or snowboarded before, in the first year, they might be capable of landing a double flip, and this is really, really rare and hardly ever happens. In other cases, I could see people maybe only hitting a few obstacles. I mean, it really matters on how determined you are and how hard you work. And yeah, if you have had a skateboarding background or a snowboarding background or any sort of board sport, extreme sport background, or gymnastics and things like that, it will help a lot. And if you haven't had that, you can still progress fast, but you really just need to make sure you work hard, set goals, because you don't want to get stuck in a rut doing the same thing. So I say maybe set a couple goals each week and try and progress through those things, and you will get better and better. But yeah, the answer just really varies a lot depending on the person. Any tips on getting a wakeboarder out of the water for the first time? Any tips for me to drive better or do things like that to help them get out of the water? There are a lot of things you could do to help riders get out of the water. I personally like to drive extremely slow and tell them to attempt to get up in like slow motion. And if they are like a really young kid, drive really, really, really slow, and it should help a lot. And if it is a really, really heavy person, you can obviously give it a bit more gas. But yeah, telling them to wakeboard in slow motion and get up in slow motion instead of rushing things, that really tends to help a lot for me. I do have some driving tips on my channel, and I do have a how to get up tutorial, so if you want to check that out, it should help you out a lot. Are you happy with your boat so far? Well, I actually just got rid of it, and I had it for a little bit over a year, and I'd have to say I had zero problems the entire time, which was absolutely great. So I'd say I'm pretty happy, and I am the third owner and still had zero problems. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stoked, and I can't wait for the new one to get here. What's your favorite thing about your Centurion? I mean, I feel like a ton of these questions sound like ads, but I swear they're legit questions. My favorite thing about the boat though would be the ram fill. You can fill up like, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 pounds in like 30 seconds or something crazy like that. So yeah, basically you can have a huge wake all ready to go before the truck driver even gets back to the boat. So yeah, that's probably my favorite feature. Do you use fins when riding behind the boat? Yeah, absolutely. I love fins on the boat. I do no fins on the cable, obviously, but on the boat it's great. It helps you track up the wake and things like that. So yeah, I definitely use fins when riding behind the boat. What kind of dog is Airbud? What kind of dog are you? A good dog, huh? Yeah. What's your best tip for wakeboarding from beginner to pro? My best tip sounds kind of cliche, but it would be to have fun and not take it super seriously all the time. And yeah, I just say this because you don't want to get burnt out. There are a lot of times when I was younger and I took things super seriously, I felt burnt out because I'd get pissed off a lot of times whenever I ride. And sometimes this is okay because everyone gets pissed off or whatever. But yeah, just try and have fun. If you are having one of those sets that drives you absolutely insane, maybe stop what you're doing, take a break, and just go goof off and have fun on your wakeboard, because this will keep you from getting burnt out, and I do think it is the best tip. Can we ride your pro model cable board behind the boat? The answer is yes, you can ride it behind the boat. I did do a video on this a while back of me riding my cable board behind the boat, right next to me riding a bow board behind the boat. The thing is it wasn't specifically designed for riding behind the boat, so it is a little bit more slippery and you might sacrifice some pop, but it is still possible. I do recommend riding a boat specific board behind the boat. That's why I do ride the Murray behind the boat, just because it was designed for that. But it is definitely possible to ride my pro model cable board behind the boat. Favorite video you have made? My favorite video I've made is actually two videos. My favorites would be full send and still gonna send it. If you want to watch these, you could just YouTube search JB ONeill full send or JB ONeill still gonna send it. You can check them out. Those are my favorite two. What are the best ways to film wakeboarding? The best ways would be GoPro, dad cam, and drone. Those are my 3 favorite ways, and I find them the 3 easiest ways to do it. So in my opinion, they are the best. Someone might disagree, but my opinion, those are the best ways. And the final question is, how old are you? I'm 19 years old. Oh my goodness, 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 oh my goodness. All right, that's gonna be it for today. If you guys wanna be a part of the next questions and answers video, make sure you guys go check out my Instagram and check out my stories, because sometimes I will post a questions tab in my story, and you can just ask whatever questions you want, and I'll put it up in the next questions and answers video. If you guys like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment below what kind of videos you guys wanna see in the future, and remember, I'll be uploading a video every second day forever, so make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.